Hi, this is Anil Bhartia, and welcome to TFR Newsroom. One of my favorite open source events is a Cloud Foundry Summit, but this year it's going online because of this crisis that we are going through. We will miss a lot of that we see in the in-person event, like hallway tracks, and of course all the fun things that we do in the evening. But I'm pretty sure that we won't miss out on technical content. So today we have with us once again Chip Childers, Executive Director of Cloud Foundry Foundation, to talk about this new format of the event. Chip, first of all, welcome to the show. Tell us, what are your feelings, that the show is going online because of the crisis? What do you really feel?
That's a great question. What do I really feel? Almost an existentialist type of question. The reality is that it's, of course, disappointing. I think that, not just our community, but open source communities around the world are they're used to getting together, infrequently, but often. Because that in-person collaboration is really something that it's very critical when you're building trust between people. And, open source communities are fundamentally built around trust. So, for us, as with many others, this is a bit of an experiment about, how do we do information sharing? How do we also find ways to foster collaboration that wouldn't otherwise be happening? And so it's a type of thing that it's disappointing not to get to see, all of these amazing community members face to face, shake their hands, say hello in person. But I also think that it's an opportunity for us to find ways to replicate that in-person experience virtually, so that as we think forward into the future, how can our events become a blend of both in-person and online, right? Because there are many audiences that don't have the funding to travel to events like this. So we're looking at it as an opportunity. This is our first attempt to go fully virtual with an event, and we're going to learn a lot. And we're excited for our community's feedback, but we're also excited for just the community to experience what we've been able to put together with their help.
What are the things that you are looking forward to as we kind of, look at the next week when the event will be happening?
In terms of the event itself, we've got some really great technical talks. As we've spoken about in the past, the Cloud Foundry community's mission right now is to take the well-known, loved CF developer experience and bring that to all the Kubernetes clusters that are spinning up in all kinds of different environments. Our mission is to make custom software development in organizations fast, to go from weeks and months worth of lead time to hours and days, right? We really believe that all of the work around evolving that developer experience, as well as evolving the architecture, is worth highlighting and digging into at the event. The other thing is, besides the global pandemic that we're dealing with, we've, as a community, we've always done our best to make sure that we are as inclusive as possible, that make sure that we find ways to have genuine conversations around topics of diversity. And that ranged from, equality for women in technology, all the way through to questions of, how do you make the software that you write more accessible to those that might have, different disabilities. And this year, in the United States in particular, but throughout the world, we've reached this moment in time where there's a necessary and frankly overdue reckoning with systemic racism. And so we're going to be approaching that topic very directly. We're honored to have a speaker at our diversity event that's part of the overall CF Summit, Dr. Shakti Butler from the World Trust Educational Service. She's going to come and talk about the history of systemic racism, kind of how we got here, and then a little bit about how that impacts the technology industry in particular. So I think that's going to be a highlight. There's also some really amazing talks that are coming from many of the project leaders throughout our community, updates on all of that Kubernetes work that's been occurring, updates on how that Devex is evolving.
Any major announcement? I mean, of course, you may or may not want to hold them for the actual event, but anything major exciting that we should look forward to?
I think you should be looking forward to some news around how that developer experience evolution is progressing. In particular, more advanced capabilities being provided to the enterprise developers that are working in the environment. One of the benefits that we anticipate and that our community is very excited about is that as we rethink the kind of the plumbing of the Cloud Foundry platform, embrace some more general purpose tooling where in the past we've had to build bespoke components of our architecture. There are capabilities that we can start to roll into the developer experience, at the same time being really thoughtful about how to present that in a way that doesn't require a lot of cognitive load, on an enterprise developer. The example of that would be, think about complex distributed system rollout patterns, right? Whether it's a blue-green deployment or a rolling update across n number of nodes. How do you just make that really simple for a developer so they don't have to think about it? How does all the routing and all of the app restarts get orchestrated on behalf of the developer? So these are the things that are showing up for developers. You'll hear some interesting news about that during the event.
So we talked about the technology part, but one of the critical pieces of any community is the ecosystem, the members, the vendors, the developers. Any announcement around the ecosystem?
Yeah, a lot of our members have really great announcements. Many of the in particular North American focused companies that distribute Cloud Foundry have product announcements related to making things generally available, or moving some of these Kubernetes integrations into a later stage of kind of the alpha beta test process. So what's important to understand there is that the community is moving very rapidly, but the commercial distributions around us are moving just as quickly. And this fast follow model, and in some cases, these are the same organizations and people that are driving the community projects forward. It's letting our whole ecosystem move very quickly towards that target that we set at the beginning of the year. So that's very exciting. The other thing that makes up a community is really the people, and we're very excited that they're going to be 3 community awards. We had a ton of great nominations that are presented over the course of the event. We have inspirational user, awesome advocate, and dedicated committer awards that we're giving out. These are about highlighting individuals that have just done an amazing job, whether they've done it quietly and in the background, or whether they've done it loudly and in public, in supporting the progression of the project.
And this also makes it even more exciting if it was in person, right? To go on the stage and receive their work. But we will do that next year. What are the resources that are available so that people who are going to watch these sessions and talks online, so that they can get the most out of it?
The experience is obviously it's through your computer, right? So what we've done is we've selected a platform that allows for you to go in and out of the sessions. The sessions will be streamed, per the schedule. As you're in that session, you'll have an opportunity to have a chat room with all of the other participants that are watching, as well as the speakers, right? So it gives an opportunity for kind of live Q&A throughout the session. And we think that's going to be a pretty interesting experience. We of course can't run these events without our sponsors. We're blessed to have some really great sponsors, SUSE and VMware Tanzu coming in at Diamond, IBM Cloud supporting us at the platinum level. We've got gold sponsors and bronze sponsors. And so we also have an opportunity for attendees to say hello to the sponsors, go visit them in a virtual booth, see what demos or free trials they may have available. And they can chat with other attendees, right? There are a few open networking chat rooms that are there. You can start up, video chats with one-on-one with other attendees that you've connected with. So we're doing what we can to try to replicate some of the hallway track that you get out of the in-person experience. We think there's a number of different opportunities that, although different, do represent some positive opportunity for for people to collaborate.
Right. And if people want some swag, will you be mailing them too so that I can get my t-shirts and
Yeah,
thank you.
unfortunately, it's a swag-free event. We're focused
Right.
on making sure that we get the collaboration right.
Thank you, Chip, so much for taking your time out and talking to me today. And I look forward to the event next week. Thank you.
Good deal. Thanks.